Good morning, everyone. I have a quick union read and a quick a quick twin flame read. The union read is 45D60, and let's go ahead and take a deep breath first. Sending lots of love and blessings out to everybody. I think the King of Cups reversed is a little bit in the spotlight today because he got left out here. So let me know if that brings up something for you. This union read. Here is the my scam call here. Okay. All right, so for the union read, and again, this is 4D, 5D, 6D. And the way I set it up is the 4D is the bottom row, 5D and 6D, the incoming Divine Feminine 3 cards, the outgoing Divine Masculine at the end, the underlying energies, and then up here, the closing energies over here. And then here's the twin flame read. Okay. And this is the full read in front of you. So I can clarify that a little bit more. Cards at the top. Okay. Okay, so the 45D60 union read at 3:45 yesterday afternoon. Excuse me. So 345, 3D45D, and here's the 4560 read. The 3 is the Empress. The 45 is the 5 of Cups. 5 of Cups is the grieving and loss card, the needing to let go of the past, the dealing with loss, the dealing with regret, the dealing with guilt and shame. And the underlying card here was the 6 of Wands, the journey, and then the Ascension card in the center, and then the 2 of Pentacles at the end. So the journey of ascension to look up and surrender. The incoming Divine Feminine being the King of Pentacles, the 4 of Swords, and the 7 of Swords. The King of Pentacles on break, rest, prayer, meditation in 5D, passing downloads, and backed up a bit perhaps. 2 men watching. That's so funny because my daughter went to the ER last night. She might have had some of those issues. So two men watching here and making a memo to self. And whenever the King of Pentacles comes up in this deck, it's also Akashic Records with the crystal skull. The 4D here is the Wheel, the 5 of Wands, and the 9 of Swords. The Divine Feminine, destined, high vibration, Adam, or 3 rings, sealed, Divine Masculine, suffering in silence, trying to end the nightmare. And Good Night Mary also came up. Good Night Mary. And then Bridge by conflict, competition, and the pursuit of happiness. In the 5D, the Ace of Pentacles, Ascension, and the solar deity, or the Sun. The Divine Feminine, groundbreaking, plant, the saxifrage, and the Divine Feminine, and the Divine Masculine, centaur, leaping across the sun, bridging by the ascension world in the right hand of the Divine Feminine to complete the cycle. In the 6D, the Indigo, the 3 of Swords, and the 8 of Swords, the Divine Feminine proposal, the Divine Masculine scared to release, and the bridge by the 3 of Swords, healing and forgiveness here between each other. The Divine Feminine destined to break through the 5D to offer or receive the polished stone in the 6D, magically. The Divine Masculine, stressed out, suffering in silence, or exposed and released. The bridge between is the expansion, the fire on the bridge, in outer space. The 6D, searching for remnants or survivors left. The Divine Masculine, fully charged in the 5D to release in 6D while healing and forgiving, and offering a handmade polished stone perhaps. The outgoing Divine Masculine is the 4D, heart in the Batcave, inspired to remove the mask and infection, or the need to be worshipped. The Knight of Pentacles with crystal in hand, creating light and trading places, fire for light, and releasing all choices up to the universe and your own knowing. And there's definitely that energy of, again, of being out at sea with searchlights and looking for something in the dark, deep waters. So whether that's literal or just the dark emotions, and looking really super deep, you know, for the last little remnants that need to come out and out. And this one, the total number was 49, which is the 9 of Cups, the Get Your Wish card. And this very much was like a magical energy here. The numbers that came up in the the horizontal pillars here were 29, 1, and 19. And the 3 Magi came up here. And what do? They bring gifts. The 29 of the 3 of Wands, the 1 of the Magician, and the 19 of the Sun. The presence of the Magi, the 3 Magi with the 3 of Wands, expose a fully charged wish here. And then the vertical pillars were 6, 4, 7, 1, 8, 17, 4, and 2, comes up as the lover's dreams of the moons and the stars, and the 2 of Cups coming together in that deep connection, wishes coming true here. So a very magical little read right there. And then we had the Twin Flame read at 529. The SIRIAN Starseed deck was cut at 506, which is the 5 of the Hierophant, the 6 of the Lovers. The Hierophant can also be God. It can also be marriage or commitment of any kind. Also very traditional. The way society sees things or does things. And the Lovers here for today, which is March 29th, 2021, which is 37 today? 32, 34, yep, today's 37, the King of Cups. That's so funny. But the King of Cups today is not unconditional, it's with conditions of love. So funny. This is today's energy. Oh boy. All right, so I finished clarifying at 529. So here's that 29 again, being present in the moment, and today's date is the 29th. The 5 of the Hierophant again, being present in the moment. And then the major arcana being shadow or the higher self coming up before the read. Shadow, which is the devil. Alchemy, which is the temperance card. Abundance, which is the empress. And after the read, karma, which is judgment, and justice also came up. We had 4 swords, 2 wands, 1 pentacle, 1 cup. So mostly swords here. And that can be too much in your head, but it also can be working on intellectual pursuits. So we have the 9 of wands and the 9 of swords both in the read here. They're not court cards, but they can be people. We have the wounded warrior and the 9 of swords, which is the one suffering in silence. The Queen of Pentacles, the Knight of Swords, and after the read, the Knight of Cups and the Knight of Wands came up. So 3 knights. We had 3 Magis and 3 knights. And what's today? Today is the 29th. So the night of the 29th, the night of the 30th, and the night of the 31st brings us into April Fool's Day. All right, so that's significant here too, right? There may be some magic that appears that day, right? It's the Fool's Journey, April Fool's Day. It's a day for us fools. Spirit is so funny. So we have the code line all about love partnership. The code line number was 10, coming from 1 and 9, which are the 2 ends, the 2 strongest numbers, because it is of endings and new beginnings again, the transformation, the rebirthing process, and the 10 of the doorway, really, the Wheel of Fortune being that turn for the better, that high vibration destiny. The numbers that came up here in the read were double 1s, double 5s, double 8s, and double 9s. The 1s and 9s most significant, the bookends, and that came up yesterday, the day before as well, bookends. And then now I'm getting Patty Duke, 2 of a kind, the bookends. So the twins again, and Spirit's connecting with me. I don't know, the name Patty might be coming up here as well. And Duke, maybe somebody's a Duke. Okay, let me know if any of that resonates. But we have and Spirit was really connecting with me there. So we have the double 1s is justice, the 11. 55 is the truth, the Excalibur, the Ace of Swords. The double 9s is that the endings, the compassion, the universal selflessness, the collective consciousness, and the double eights being the dance between the masculine and feminine, and then standing side by side or in the vertical pillar, but either which way, then tipping over, becoming the infinity, the unending. We also have here 15 of the devil or the shadow, 58 of the four of swords, which is the 5D connection between the two, the 89 of the expansion and contraction, the reflection of human body temperature, which is then being too hot or too cold, the extremes. And then we have 9, 10, begin again and again and again, as well as 12 of the hangman, 25 of the knight of wands, 56, and the read was cut at 5:06, so 56 being the 2 of swords, being in your knowing and keeping your energy pure or to yourself, 68 of the page of pentacles, and that's it for the numbers there. We also had 4211, which is the 2 of cups and the justice again. And 2 of cups, okay. And then we have the code line being all about love partnership. And that number 10 of a turn for the better. We have the energy of fast forward here. We also have the energy of Kofifi also came up, which is the cobalt and 2 parts iron. And iron came up yesterday too as one of the definitions. I don't know if it came up today again. Was iron there? Iron fist could be coming up too as well with the law. Okay, so the message here regarding the love partnership and the number 10 and perhaps the wheel being activated, it is upright in this read. The fast forward motion of the E, which can be it's the number 5 again of the Hierophant, but also the freedom and change, the expansion, the Elohim, the Eve, the moral man, the acing of the show of power, and that can be your sovereignty, the 9 of wands of the wounded warrior, in a sudden event of love partnership, of coming together, of the 2 of cups. Now the 2 of cups, the lovers was upright in this read, but the 2 of cups was reversed. So again, that could have to do with the conditions of love here, with the 2 of cups reversed. And again, that can just be at a distance and not being able to see each other face to face, or just disconnected together because you're not seeing something the same way, which doesn't, you don't have to see everything the same way. So the Kofifi energy, like I said, came up, and also T keeps coming up yesterday and today. The moral man acing the 1 show of power. Also Nini was coming up, and northeast and southeast and southern exposure. So I'll take that. I'll have to call that back afterward. That was an energy of electricity, so that could be coming up as well. So, like I said, the Kofifi, the moral man, the T, the acing the show of power of Nini coming up, which is funny, but northeast and southeast, which also can be nor'easter and southeastern winds, but northeast of flames or drama, and then southeast love partnership. Right? One way is one thing, and then the other way is the other. One way causes drama, northeast, then southeast is love partnership and coming together. The magical, again, this comes up as part of the code line. I just said the other read was quite magical. This one now coming up as magical or otherworldly with T. Maybe there's a T that's working magic for you, or the moral man acing the show of power of the wounded warrior and surrender in sudden event. Husband energy comes up as well as oneself and each other, that 2 of cups coming together in love partnership. All right, so there's this very magical, loving energy of 2 people coming together. And when I wrote this is when my daughter went to the ER last night. I'm still waiting to hear back from her. She did get discharged. She must be sleeping because she's not answering her phone, but the hospital said she was discharged. So And of course, you know, there's that energy of mother and child closeness of that Two of Cups, the magical otherworldly energy. And again, there may be a tea that you drank this week that worked wonders for you, and maybe you didn't realize what did it, but I'm telling you, it was the tea that you drank. So the moral man is acing their show of power in surrender, and that can be husbandry as well, but a sudden event of oneness of each other, of oneself in a love partnership. The shadow comes up here in the shadow comes up here as the first card in the underlying energy, and it is reversed, so it's the detoxing energy, but also in the detoxing is the peaking out of the worst of it. You know, like an emergency event, going to the emergency room, it peaks out, and then the decrescendo afterward is the detox. So it's that energy here. So on the downslide, you know, on the waning side of the moon. And then we have the underlying energy below that, which was the Five of Cups upright, the Eight of Swords upright, the Five of Pentacles reversed, the higher self upright, and the Eight of Wands reversed. Grieving, prison, or feeling imprisoned and out in the cold, the higher self in negative exchange, detoxing and surrender, depressed and not wanting to talk, lots of lower pain, back pain, vomiting, suddenly, or sudden issues, a virus of some kind. So much pain, and there is surrender, right? So when you're in so much pain you can't handle it anymore, you're forced to surrender. So whatever the situation is, it doesn't have to be physical pain, it is the surrender here, the nauseousness, the feeling drained or not well, and vomiting perhaps. That can also be the energy of crying and purging, any way of getting the pain out, or some kind of sudden negative exchange. Again, vomiting, dumped, crying, sweating it out, bleeding out, but holding your tongue in uncomfortable energies, letting go to try to fix injustice with the Page of Wands reversed, drained, sick, or going back and forth in a negative way, or hot and cold, coming clean about a virus or needing help, the antidote, the rug pulled out from under you, or letting go to fix, right? When you have no control, when the rug's pulled out, you're up in the air, nothing you can do now except for allow the fall. To go to the hospital perhaps with the Queen of Pentacles upright and the Empress reversed. Perhaps one is sick and another is concerned. To bridge a mess of family, business, or community, or the world. It could be any kind of virus, or even anything that causes pain. So whether it's a virus literally or figuratively, even could be, you know, anything that really hurts, you know, like a cyst rupturing, even the tubal pregnancy could come up, or appendicitis, any of those things that cause a lot of spontaneous pain. Dogs sniffing around or kissing up to the father here, or a mother who's passed and the dogs are sniffing out the inheritance here. So all those kind of energies are coming up, behind the scenes kind of thing. Passion comes up in healing family issues beneath that, with the Three of Wands reversed, looking back with the Knight of Swords reversed, not cracking the whip with the children, what they can and cannot see perhaps, right? Not restricting them. The Ten of Wands caught with their pants down, or in the woods or in the weeds, lashing out, fending off others, unwanted advances, and synchronicities and options. Heaven in their eyes, or in loving color, that's coming up again, or living in the past, holding your tongue and burdened by kisses and things. Kisses and hugs, and waiting to make out with them. And there may have been feelings about that, and burdened by those feelings. 7-11 here is the little lizard watching at the time, and the turtle slow to get it. And in this read, 4 aces were all reversed, right? It's like that going backward, the retrograde, in order to build up the momentum to make one big push forward. The frog with warts and all, tripped up or missed their chance, now seeing all the missed opportunities, and self-discipline comes up as 41, the self-love, spiritual love, and new love. And then beneath that, that 37 of time out with the King of Cups, who was reversed and left out over here. The Queen of Swords reversed, post-war, suffering in silence, or perhaps a sister present here to end the nightmare. Tempted by the Holy Grail with an announcement, perhaps air traffic controller coming up. That may be a friend we know that may have gotten something new about her air traffic control school stuff. Defenseless to energies, attacks and powerless, financial drain on or dependent on clarity or charity may be coming up. Of the Queen of Pentacles reversed, wanting to start a fight or some kind of conflict or competition, or the pursuit of happiness, no longer blind but still doesn't want to see all the conflict, yet sitting on the sidelines like the cheerleaders at the game, crossing their fingers, cross your fingers, hope to die, right? Stick a needle in your eye, threatening to move peacock eyes at 7:36. And that was interesting too, because one of my comments yesterday was a bit of a threat. 7:36 is the Chariot and the 10 of Wands, the 3-6-9, and Aquarius upright, and then the Knight of Pentacles looking ahead but riding back. Conflict, competition, games, fighting and infighting and detoxing, coming clear, cleaning up the act or space with the Empress reversed, fantasy and self-discipline all at the same time, right? Because they're very opposite energies. The post-war withholding, the merging to the middle, the needing courage to leap without option. And now I'm getting the impossible dream. To fight for the right without question or cause. To be willing to march into hell for a heavenly cause. And I probably didn't say the words right there, but you get the idea. The sudden realization about the Queen of Pentacles upright, being dead tired after death or dead tired of fighting, the King of Pentacles upright, the Queen of Swords reversed, the King of Wands upright, the Hermit reversed, and the Queen of Wands upright, all dissatisfied. In the recent past is the Nine of Swords reversed, the ending the nightmare and coming out of control, the Hermit and Emperor both reversed on the warpath, an emergency laid up at work to get organized just in case the Page of Cups reversed is not well, or is vulnerable, or rejected. Or the Virgo, Aries, and Cancer all reversed on break from work or aligning with rejection, vulnerability, or it could be a spoiled child detoxing, or which, you know, a baby crying is a detox. Somebody at the workplace dropping the ball, or dropping the mask, the facade, the patterns, and not calling them out, holding back an announcement. Capricorn and Aquarius both reversed, and the foundation being the Ten of Swords upright, with lots of pain, holding their tongue, and feeling powerless, carrying the weight of the world upon their shoulders. The Fool free from work with financial drains or practical drains, and that could be illness as well, working hard to free themselves. The central energy being the Ace of Swords reversed, the lies, the split, the divide. The Page of Cups hasn't called, is tied up, with the Queen of Cups reversed and the Page of Wands reversed, in the hall perhaps, and uncomfortable. The Knight of Pentacles reversed, unable to function. The challenge being the Wounded Warrior reversed in surrender, starting over, no longer bored, with the Queen of Cups reversed, frustrated, exhausted, up all night perhaps, hanging out, unable to sidestep. You need to wait in line. Lovers dead tired of lies and split, depressed and clearly destined, the Page of Pentacles hurting themselves to be perfect, for the big love at work, hostage to the lie, the divide, hung out to dry, at work in divorce and or rejection, tainted religious leader, or a predator of vulnerable children at 803, which is strength and the Empress. So predator doesn't have to be a man, it could be an Empress reversed as well. So now is the Queen of Pentacles upright, out of options perhaps, with the King of Swords upright in energetic exchange with the King of Pentacles reversed in bliss and conflicted about it. The King of Swords or the King of Pentacles reversed playing hardball with the world, Pisces, or the Divine Feminine world, the Divine Feminine in the 5D world, with the Divine Masculine and karmic tie that's unstable and deceptive, and a weak Page of Pentacles, looking at all angles of reaping rewards with the Six of Cups and moving to a higher love. Or in with a patient angel, looking back at detoxing chaos and the injustice of third party, social distancing, bad influences around you, in pain and no reunion, recovering without an olive branch, doing it on their own, destined to shine and expose all. Soon here is the alchemy of the Magician, the King of Pentacles, and the Knight of Wands without peace, seeing synchronicities in a split or lie with the King of Wands fighting or on a quest. I was just getting also on a guest list. Powerless to the Knight of Cups or dependent with an offer of love or Magi competing with the King of Pentacles for love, or the King of Pentacles doesn't want their dependent daughter with the King of Wands, or the King of Wands' child, the Knight of Wands, is pursuing the King of Pentacles or asking for her hand. The twin flames here see themselves as abundance reversed, or the Empress reversed, which is lack. The Queen of Wands healing and purging or pushed to the limit. Grieving third party or negative or bad influences. The Knight of Pentacles reversed, stuck, stubborn, or unable to function. Recovering, disabled, with High Priestess, secret, Pisces perhaps, or psychic abilities. Perhaps an aide or religious woman, or in the hospital. Taurus reversed, Pisces, or Virgo upright, and let your friends help. Unrequited love comes up here, and then new love and reconciliation. Around the twins, or how they're seen, is the Ace of Cups reversed. Feeling dumped, dumped on, in the dumps. Purging, crying, vomiting. In disconnect or at a distance. No longer bored, or now starting over in love. Sharing or settling out with the Ten of Cups reversed, which is the end of an emotional cycle of unhappiness, or the end of an unhappy family that's so overdone. The block here being the Six of Wands, the journey, the bringing of good news, the success, the attention, to one fending off all others, or trying to get seen at the ER, getting through triage, no matter what that triage is, doesn't have to be in the hospital. The love partnership, and even more so here, is the synchronicities, the leadership, and the environment. The injustice of Sagittarius with an attitude, and the Knight of Swords reversed, unhappy. They could be keeping to themselves, but also lashing out. Unhappy about coming clean, or getting a cure, or clarity in a situation. Recovering, waiting in limbo, while working to line up, perhaps a doctor, to see an ill child, or with Pisces or Taurus in their chart, and perhaps Capricorn or Sagittarius or Libra as well. The Knight of Swords holding their tongue, holding back an announcement or call. I was just getting an astronaut, so something's going on with an astronaut today. The Knight of Swords holding their tongue, holding back an announcement or call, or something about an astronaut. The Knight of Cups offering love at a distance, and the Knight of Wands rushing in, with the Sagittarius upright and Libra reversed at 840, which is strength and the dance, and then the Page of Cups. Or injustice here, with the Knight of Cups offering love and being love here in the end, no matter what. Detoxing the Ten of Swords in lack, or Empress reversed, dumped, crying, vomiting, suffering in silence, dealing with sister, or in a split and lie, challenged by surrender to a higher love, and the journey, with the Queen of Pentacles and the Knight of Swords reversed, holding back a call and or an announcement. The Knight of Cups upright offering love at a distance to the Knight of Wands in justice, or one with Libra in their chart, offering love to the Queen of Swords reversed, post-war apologies to end the nightmare. Detoxing to end pain, and fighting the Ten of Swords upright, the divide, the lie, the painful virus or infection. The challenge being the surrender, and the Queen of Pentacles upright, worried about their angel, or vomiting and crying on a journey, and good news, or waiting for good news, but no call. The Knight of Cups is upright, but perhaps not received or received well, or in disconnect between two people, or at a distance, not able to see each other face to face. But the Knight of Wands got them, and perhaps got them in unjustly because they liked them. So there was a good connection there. So very much this energy here about the central energy was the Ace of Swords, which is all about the split, the lies, the divide, the needing to cut to the chase, get clarity in a situation, get the full truth if you don't have the whole truth or any truth at all. It's that situation about getting to the truth, or getting to the truth of why you're in pain, whether that's physical pain, emotional pain, spiritual pain, whatever it is. And the challenge being the Nine of Flames, which is the surrender of the wounded warrior. You get to the truth of it by letting go and surrendering, not trying to figure it out, but just allowing it, going into it and feeling it, or surrendering to allowing someone to take care of you when you can't take care of yourself. So a lot of people like to be in control. They don't like to be sick, or they don't like to be dependent on somebody else. And here's where you have to learn the balance of that on both sides. The one who depends too much on others and the one who won't let anyone help them or take care of them. So there's that kind of energy coming up here, as well as the lack mentality of the twins, not feeling abundant or in need of their mother. That kind of energy, right? Like a little kid who needs their mommy. And that's not supposed to be something derogatory. It's just that energy that we all hold. Maybe when you were young, you weren't able to depend on your mother emotionally. And that happens in a lot of cases, because sometimes people's mothers aren't emotionally available because they have wounds. Yeah, it's definitely getting to the core of the issues between two, the one-on-one relationship, and breaking past those barriers to come face to face, or to make peace with not seeing something the same way. That's okay. You don't have to see everything the same way. And then we come out on top at the end of this read with the Knight of Cups, being love, or offering love to everyone, right? Not just having a love relationship, but being love. And that's how you pull the love that you want into your life, the being of the love. And so very interesting, I'm just noticing now, the very most underlying energy here is the Knight of Pentacles, right? The loyal, humble servant offering their services. And at the end of the read is the Knight of Cups over here. So we have the two most beautiful knights right there. You know, the most loyal and humble and loving knights, basically bookends of this read. So we're going to pull some oracle cards, see what comes up here, and why we have the King of Cups reversed and the conditions of love. And the clock, on the clock, it's 10:49 right now, which is the Wheel of Fortune, and the Get Your Wish card again, which came up from the Union read today, and 31:53 right here now, which is a lot of aggressive energy. 31 is the, the pursuit, the conflict, the competition. And then what did I say the other one was? Now I can't even remember. Was it the 53, the Knight of Swords, that very aggressive knight. Very aggressively coming in with the truth to find, to fight through to the answer, right? Fighting for the impossible dream. That energy is coming up again. To fight for the right without question or pause, to be willing to fight. For a heavenly cause, and I know if I'll only be true to this glorious quest, that my heart will lie peaceful and calm when I'm laid to my rest. It's making me want to cry. And the world will be better for this. This is like the transformation to the 5D world. It's not a personal thing I'm crying about. The energy is very beautiful. That one man, scorned and covered with scars, still strove with their last ounce of courage. This is my quest to follow that star, no matter how hopeless, no matter how far, to fight for the right without question or cause. To be willing to march into hell for a heavenly cause. I know if I'll only be true to this glorious quest, that my heart will lie peaceful and calm when I lay to my rest. So those are the words that wanted to come up, I guess. Okay. So let's see where the energy deck wants us to go. And the electrician calls. So that may be electric as opposed to magnetic. And we've had the feminine energy coming up as leading the way, very much so, a lot in the last month, really. So here's the electric now coming up. So let's see what that's all about. What's it all about, Alfie? I don't know why that's coming up. All right. There's the Dark Mother energy. So again, the feminines are in the energy of the Dark Mother. It's abundance reversed. Being judged, being envied. Or maybe they're feeling that energy of the financial constraints. This is a mother in lack. This is also the mother's death. My mother passed away in January, so it could be something as simple as that, but it's a negative energy here. If the mother hasn't passed, it's that energy of lack. Either they're not well, they're injured, they're ill, or they're in lack and needy, right, and not in a good way, or they're abusive and not in a good way, right? Controlling, even if it's manipulating, not necessarily, they don't have to be outwardly abusive to be manipulative, right? But here is it's not just financial constraints, it's moral, it's spiritual, it's emotional, any kind of destitution here of the 13 and the need for transformation, right? We have justice, which is the card before the world, which is the end of the cycle, the closing of the cycle. So the final judgment, and this is like coming up on Easter, the final judgment before the death and rebirth of Easter here. And the disconnect from the mother. And Mother Mary was coming up. Mary, oh, Bloody Marys. And Nightmare. Good night, Mary. So there's all this Mary energy coming up, the mother, and that came up big time for my read the other day. So again, this is the dark energy transforming with Easter here. And again, this isn't about Christianity, it's about unity consciousness and the rebirthing in the dark night of the twins. And then the next card that comes out is the 24, the Queen of Wands, and the adjacent possibilities of needing to go there. You can go your own way. So it's the need to sidestep into something else. Like they don't have to change dimension to go into something new. There are always other opportunities on the horizontal pillar, the horizontal versus the vertical pillar. You don't always have to go up and down. Sometimes you need to go side to side between the masculine and the feminine. Okay? So there's a lot of emptiness here. There's destitution, a void, right? A lack, a big lack here. Because there's dark, heavy energy here of judgment and envy and financial destitution and feeling like you don't have any possibilities. And again, we have judgment, death, and the Queen of Wands here. Now the Queen of Wands, I believe, is upright in this read, and she's on the twins. So that could be a mother. My mother was a Queen of Wands, for sure. She was Gemini, but she was a very fiery Gemini. It's the influence of that mother that's coming in here, whether it's your wife and the influence over the children, or your mother, your grandmother, your aunt, whatever it is, your boss even. It's that influence of the dark mother, and here is the Empress and the underlying energy reversed. She's influencing the twins. Her judgment, her envy, her, the kids never being able to be good enough, right? You're always being criticized. And then here's that Knight of Cups coming up, the 5th chakra, Archangel Gabriel, the throat chakra, right? And Gabriel is all about, God's messenger, right? The one that gets the messages to you. The Knight of Cups, the twins, by being love, the 39, the throat chakra activated here, because it is very much upright and very significant here. Getting to the truth of the matter by announcing and being love. And the conditions here may be some boundaries initially that we need to put up in order to get to that 5D type of love for everybody around the world. Because obviously we're just getting into the 4th density, grounded into the earth. Although, all the twins started out being 5D or above, but not on a perpetual basis, not 24 hours a day. And that's what we're working on, keeping those higher vibrations for more of each moment. And in the meantime, learning your boundaries in order to keep your energies as pure as you can. And realizing that there is going to be some negative energies around you that you don't want in your energy, right? So then we have a strategy to make sure here's the world. Now we're completing the cycle. And here's the bridge, like the bridge of the ship, whether that's a ship on the water or the ship in the air. Here's the pen to journal, to talk about your journey, to be creative about what happens to you. That's where the stories come from. The story is not there to hurt other people, but to tell your tale to enlighten them and know that they're not alone. There's a positive and negative way that something can be projected. And it's saying that, it just depends on the direction. Are you northeast or are you southeast direction? And which way do you want your world to go next? There's music up here, scroll work. The key is in the lock, right? Finding the answers. We are at the 21, the culmination of the cycle. And go ahead and write about it. Make a strategy, make a plan. But it's actually, what I'm really getting is putting down the quill, because you don't need that plan when you're in the moment. It's fun to write about things, but in a creative way. It's not because you don't need to look at the outcome. You need to stay present in the moment. And yet you can use the pen for creative pursuits, for stories and fun, for books and movies. That's the creation of it. But that doesn't mean there's a means to an end, right? You don't have to know the end, right? You don't have to read the end of the book before reading the book, right? Is that a Gemini trait? I think it is. Always wanting to know the answer. It's the journey. It's about being in the moment, allowing it all to unfold. And it's important to go through that right now, because this is the 21, the culmination of the world, the end of the cycle. And then starting over again in order to build a very strong foundation. Don't look ahead. Just focus on the moment, the 35 of the Wounded Warrior, in surrender, and how beautiful that is. The root chakra of supposed to be safety and stability, right? Because it's what makes you feel safe in this world. So the boundaries are, creating a new foundation that's made up of all the things that you love, and not focusing on what's safe and secure, but what makes your heart feel good. What makes your body feel good, your feelings. Focus on how your body feels about each thing as you build that new foundation. Don't focus on getting to the end, but on the love that goes into what you're doing. Right? Not the lack, not the impatience, not the lack of time that you would have, not the feeling of your liberties being clipped. This is the Tower energy of full transformation, right? When you can't get out of that funk, the universe comes in and blows it all out of the water. And look, this is the root chakra, and this is coming up as the crown, right? The underlying energy is the crown. It's the feminine energy crown. The masculine being in the root, and the end of the journey. And the next card is the hostilities here. So it's like going back down to the root chakra, right? Root to crown and crown to root. As you like bleaching your hair, right? When you're touching up your hair. Going back to find any little bits of hostilities that are still stuck in the stuck energies within you. Right? So when I open the video to you guys and I'm sending lots of love to you guys, I'm trying to get all those last little bits of juices out of the world that are dark, the oils out of the world. And that's like this energy, squeezing those last little bits of hostilities out of the root and out of the crown, right? The restrictions of your liberties and the thoughts about time, that you don't need to worry about time. And here's that safety and security issues. It's getting all those last little bits out, because we're at the end of the cycle. And then we end up being strong with the angel of strength and the 50, which is the 10 of cups, the emotional fulfillment, right? The end of the cycle, the happy ending of rest and rejuvenation, right? The feminine strength and the masculine's peace, the sun and Gaia, basically, right? Because she's very much coming up as that Empress energy, the strength and the Empress, and the 10, and the emotional fulfillment of the 10 of cups, the family, right? What does the mother want? She wants the happiness of the family and to be strong. And here's the masculine who needs peace, the inner peace of the sun. Sun and emotional fulfillment. And then the 51 comes, the King of Swords. It's like the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, the Sophia. Okay, so we have 50, 51, and then the 19 of the Sun, which is the masculine ego, the pride energy. So again, that lion energy is right here. So it could be somebody lying as well. But there is abundance coming from this. And then again, the underlying energy was the 41 of the Ace of Cups, self-love, spiritual love, new love. And that crowning moment where you realize, are you happy or you're not happy? Okay, this is the intellectual pursuits. Maybe you followed your mind or somebody else's logic about what you should do for your life. There's transformation here, and also book reading here. 47 is all the options, seeing synchronicities, following your bliss. And then here's the growing of the wings. After finding out you did all that work and it's not really what you wanted, right? Do you want to be your 3D self or do you want to be your 5D self? This also can be energies between two different women. The 3D and the 5D. But neither one of them look happy. And that's the point. It's the pursuit of happiness, not the pursuit of status or success or the outcome. It's the pursuit of happiness, which is an everyday thing. It's a being in the moment thing. All right, let's see what the journey of love says here. So these two cards are sitting next to each other out on my couch there. All right, so it's very much the masculine and the feminine here. The masculine activating his truth and the feminine in her crowning moment. And this is what you wanted. Being love. And you notice that there's the space between. We have the 5th chakra and the 7th chakra. And what's the space between is the 6th chakra. And the 6th chakra in this deck is the Archangel Michael, the Page of Cups, which is the 40. Space between is the Page of Cups. The innocence between them, right? This is like the masculine and feminine without the 6 of Cups. The 6 of Cups is that energy between them of the two inner children, letting go of the past and just being love, being their pure innocent selves, right? Not holding the grudge, not holding the pain, but being your innocent child, the purity of that love. All right, this came right out. These two cards flipped over. So let's see what they are here for you guys. Within nothing, there is everything. Number 2 is the High Priestess, and this is very much of pregnancy energy in the womb, and the cosmic butterfly of the breast. Very interesting. And there's some other cards that are coming out to be seen. Just 2 more. The bottom of the deck is the Swan, the 67 of the Knight of Pentacles, which is that loyal, humble servant energy, keeping things simple, right? The Knight of Pentacles is a very simple energy, right? They just want to serve. And that's, again, that card that's over here in the underlying energy. So that's the underlying energy for both. And the second 2 cards that came out is the 21, again, of the World and the closing of the cycle and contemplation of the new life. 69 is the Ace of Pentacles, is that offer of a new life of perfect contentment. And really thinking deep and hard about what's important to you, but also getting the last little bits of those juices out of darkness inside of you. She is the moon, right? The false light. That bacteria that got in to create that pearl, and realizing sometimes we need a little darkness in order to create the beauty in our life, right? What made me cry when we have really high vibration, right? Crying seen as something negative, but it was the beauty that made me cry. the 21 of the world, and she is the moon in the contemplation of the 69 of that brand new life of perfect contentment, of peace on earth. There's so much feminine energy here. Wow. Right? So we have the loyal, humble servant, which is more of the masculine there, the humble masculine. And then here is the mother, and here is the feminine, right? So we have the masculine and the underlying energy is the humble, loyal servant. Here's the mother, right? Because she held you in her womb and she fed you at her breast, right? It's saying the mother, she feels like she has the right to guide your life, right? Because she brought you into this world. And then here's the feminine, right? Trying to come into her own and release all those energies of the false light here, to find her own way. What is what I want? Not what my mother wanted for me. What do I want for myself? Because I'm at the end of the journey now. It's time. The rebirthing is here. We're going from the 21 of the world to the 69 of the one, the new life. And this is the high priestess. Within nothing there is everything, being in the moment, right? The two polarities coming to the center. And then the cosmic butterfly of transformation, the 36 of the 369, and the Atlas, the wounded warrior going into the Atlas, the surrender going into the weight of the world upon your shoulders. And letting go. But that's the mother's energy, right? The mother's intuition connected to the child. There's no matter what you do, my love, my child, the weight of the world will always be on my shoulders, right? Because you're my child, you're my baby, my little love. So it's just understanding the energy behind the mother. Okay, the mother and the child, the daughter, specifically here the divine feminine, because then the divine feminine is the mother as well, right? This also can represent a pregnancy or a mother and their two daughters. Okay, there's always that connection there of the womb, of the 0 point, of the being able to create. That you are always a part of me. I created you. It's that energy. The need to be able to let go of what you create as well. Because this could be in an artistic sense as well. It's very hard for someone who creates something beautiful. They don't want to let it go. They want to keep it all. But then when you are trying to make a living, you have to be able to let go and surrender those things and be able to sell it to somebody else and allow them to appreciate the beauty that you've created. And that's the same thing with your children. So let's see what the book has to say for number 2. Okay. So Spirit came in to when I cry, that's because there's such a high level energy coming in. It's so beautiful. And the 2 times that I cried was in the impossible dream and in the energy of the mother and daughter. Right? So the masculine's the impossible dream. That's his heart. And then the mother and daughter, that's her heart. And the mother's heart. Right? So within nothing there is everything. From a point of stillness, a moment, a complete universe is opening up to you, endlessly expanding. Your every thought and intention sends ripples of consciousness through the universe. What a creative being you are. You are sending consciousness into motion, bringing your creation into being. With every inner desire, with every whispered wish, the universe receives your yearning and aspirations with open arms, returning them to you as a manifestation in your life. What is really in your heart? Open your arms, sigh, speak your heart's truth aloud to the loving universe and receive it as your destiny manifesting now. This oracle brings a message to you. Something that you want is on its way to you. It may seem to be coming out of nowhere, no sign on the horizon to give you hope, yet it is coming to you anyway. It is spiritual law that you cannot be, and notice that law came up in my message today. It is spiritual law that you cannot be denied the manifestation of your heart's desire. Trust and remain open to the tide of universal love rushing towards you and swelling within you now. The wind moves gently. Through trees, quiet water flows. Life's song calls softly. And I want to read the Cosmic Butterfly too of 36. That was really beautiful and perfect though. 36 is the Cosmic Butterfly. You are being reborn from the pulsating womb of the Divine Mother. So here now the womb comes up from the last card. On fire with her creative power, you are being transformed whilst living to surrender certainty in favor of openness, right? Letting go of the outcome in favor of being present to openness, to accept the smallness of your everyday life while submitting to the magnificence of your being, to open up to the divine light that pours through you in a myriad of forms, endlessly creating, destroying, and creating again. This is your sacred task. Life is thriving within you. This may not feel stable as yet, but will certainly feel exciting as you enter into yet another cycle of rebirth. Okay, and we have Easter coming up. Let this life seem as though you are living many lifetimes in one. It is possible for you to encounter the totality of human experience in this lifetime, should you be open to it. This is the treading, the enlightened path, embracing all of life. You have chosen this for yourself and been blessed with it as a possibility this lifetime. Why not let yourself be broken down and reborn through the workings of nature? Another life within this one beckons you on now. The message for you from this oracle is that if your life feels like it is falling apart, then take heart, for it is falling apart to come back together in a new way. You're going through rebirth, just like a butterfly in a chrysalis. The agony, and I'm getting Muhammad Ali, the agony and the delight, the sense of dying and being truly alive, all can be held in the serene space of your heart. Surrender into what you are becoming now, and know that what you are leaving behind is but a shell that once will have held your fast emerging new self. The breeze of the butterfly's wings caresses the stillness of my thoughts and awakens feelings that course through my veins. Like the whale's song to the ocean's depths, there wells in me a knowing and a wonder for what is yet to be. And if you haven't seen that Orca movie, you need to watch that too. That's actually one of the movies I just told my kids to watch. And if you haven't seen Musisi on Netflix, please watch Musisi. It's the most beautiful, funny, loving movie. It was so touching. You must watch it. Musicize. Watch that on Netflix if you have Netflix. And then the something of the orcas. Where is it? I'm trying to find it. The Lighthouse of the Orcas. Yeah, watch that because the whale just came up. Okay, let's go ahead and take a deep breath again. Let it all out. Don't forget to drink your water, enough water to make you feel good and connect, and get enough rest. I finally got a good night's sleep last night. And your joy. It was kind of dark this morning. All of a sudden the sun just came out. It's beautiful outside and very windy. And rise and be loved as always, you guys. I will talk to you soon. Have an amazing, amazing day. Bye.